Every meal starts with the soil beneath our feet and ends with fresh, safe food on our tables. Innovative minds at the University of Calgary are reshaping agriculture, taking old practices and modernizing them to be more sustainable. Our journey begins with the Prairie Precision Sustainability Network, who is partnering with farmers to ensure they're getting the most out of every harvest.
What if farmers stopped seeding parts of their fields that are unprofitable, that are losing them money? Year over year, they're planting a part of their field that is not so great for crops. So we start with getting data from farmers. So as a farmer drives across a field harvesting their crop, they have on board their combine harvester a device that measures how much of the crop they're collecting every second. We analyze that data and we combine it with data from satellites up in space. And we use that to build a model that will allow us to predict across big parts of the Canadian prairies which parts of fields are reliable and profitable for farmers and which parts of their field not so great. We're going to come in with recommendations about the types of plants they could grow there to transform that soil into an opportunity rather than a loss. But what makes this different is we're not asking farmers to pay for these changes. We're asking them to win because of these changes. We're all coming together to do the job for sustainable agriculture, to help farmers make good decisions.
But sustainability doesn't stop at the source. Ferma Farms creates the bridge between what is grown in the field and what is served on your plate, ensuring nothing goes to waste in the process.
So we take the waste stream that comes from pea protein processing. So that happens when food processors are looking for a plant-based protein to replace their animal-based proteins in their products, and they buy plant-based protein from agricultural processors who basically buy legumes from farmers and then they separate out the protein. The problem with that process is that the legume is only 20% protein, while 80% of that is a byproduct that goes to waste. And we want to really change that equation by taking that waste stream and upcycling that into more protein and other sustainable ingredients through fermentation. Fermentation, well, one is it's a very old process. It has been used to preserve food for centuries, but for us, we use microorganisms and we put them in very controlled, sterile environments to produce products that we're looking for. And in our case, that's protein. The end game is that we want to have consumers have more options for protein and cheaper protein.
The final step of this journey ensures that what reaches your table is both fresh and safe. That's where Chromasense comes in, bringing reassurance to both providers and consumers.
The main goal is to reduce food waste. We design the materials that are sort of this active sensing material, then we also fabricate it, specifically for things like food packaging, food freshness indicators and sensors and things like that. We're trying to either indicate bacteria or predict the growth of bacteria. There's two things that we're trying to develop. The first of which being something that's really simple as a color change, or more specifically a pattern change. We've been developing little cutout hexagon sensors that go from a color to completely colorless. If you don't see the hexagon anymore, then the product's no longer good to eat. But more sophisticated are electronic sensors. We would develop an application where you can just pull your phone up to the sensor itself and then tell you how good that product is. The end goal of the indicators and the sensors themselves are to impart a more sustainable future.